What's happening, YouTube? So, today I want to talk about the nuances of consent. Because a lot of times when consent is framed, we're just talking about verbal yes and no. And we know that communication, period, is a lot more than verbal. You know, there's body language, there's a lot of stuff that goes into communication that's not verbal. So, when we talk about consent with people that were teaching consent, we need to talk about that other stuff too, right? There's coercion, there's all kinds of stuff that goes into whether or not you're actually agreeing to do something. So I'm not going to use any buzzwords. I'm going to try not to be condescending. I'm going to talk to you like you don't know what the fuck consent is, okay? And I'm going to use examples, these personal examples, analogies, anything I can to help you understand it better. So one of the things, like I said, body language or the situation that you're in, it changes whether or not you're actually giving consent for something to happen. You just got your stimulus check, right? You got your $1,400. I'm poor. You come around me, you got your money out, you're making a video, and I'm like, hey man, let me get some of that. You coming around here, you flashing that in front of me, let me get some of that. You know what I mean? And I'm a big dude, you're a little bit scared. And I'm like, hey man, like you really gonna put that in my face? You're gonna get me worked up? And you're not gonna let me have some of that? At this point, you feel like it's probably not safe, right? To piss me off. So you're like, okay, yeah, give you some. Did you really want to give me that money? Is that consent? Just because you said yes, I can have some, and you gave me some because you were scared? No, that's not consent. Verbal is not the only thing that matters, and you have to take that into consideration when you're talking about smaller people and the perception of power, the perception of danger, right? If somebody's 4'11", 110 pounds, you might think an average grown man is not scary looking, not dangerous, but we have biological differences. Somebody that's 4'11", 110 pounds, somebody that maybe is a woman, period, is going to perceive a man as dangerous. That automatically puts you in a different mindset when you're talking about, are you scared? The responses that you're going to have, biological responses, we know we have fight or flight. If you're in a dangerous situation, sometimes you freeze up. That's just facts. If you've ever been in a robbery before, you know how it is. I have. I'm not going to tell you what happened, but I never felt like that in my life. Even in the fights I've been in, I never felt like that in my life because it's different. It's different when you think something really bad can happen to you. You have a different response to it. So, same thing. If you're in a situation and you perceive yourself to be in danger, a robbery, let's use a robbery for example. If a guy comes up to you and you don't see the gun, but you know if you feel it's a robbery, and he's like, "That's a nice watch. Can I get that?" You're probably gonna take it off. If you're any kind of smart, you're probably gonna take it off. There might be the one or two that doesn't, but most people are gonna take it off. That's not consent. You gave it up because you felt like you were in danger. Okay? So that is just one of the many ways that I feel like consent can't be given. There's also just straight up pressure. If I keep asking you for something and you eventually say yes, I don't care what you say, bro. You didn't want to give me that. And of course, you can always say, well, why didn't they just say no? Why didn't they just say no? Bro, like I just said, you have these responses when you think you're in danger. If someone keeps pressing you about something, it could make you feel like you're in danger. You know what I mean? If someone, you ever been at the gas station, and I don't want to talk about people, but you ever been at the gas station and those crackheads, they keep asking you for money. One time you say, I don't got it, man. Well, I can use card. I can do this. I can do this. And they keep following. You're like, yo, what the fuck? Like, if this dude don't get away from me. Like, for me, like I said, I feel like a fighter. So I'm always thinking, yo, if this dude asks me one more question, I'm sticking his ass because I don't know what he's up to. If you're not a fighter, or if you go into that flight mode, you're going to try to appease that person to lessen the damage, because maybe if you got violent, they might fuck you up. But if you don't, you might suffer less. That's perfectly natural. But that's something that I feel like isn't put into these conversations about consent. It's just, oh, if they say no, don't do it. If they say yes, then you have consent. Nah, it's not that. We need to start teaching people about body language. If I go, yes, you can have it. We can do that. No, I didn't want to do it. That's obvious. Honestly, now, like I said, I'm not gonna be condescending, but I feel like people know body language. But I feel like we don't say, "Hey, look at the body language when we're talking about consent." But people know body language. People know when someone's scared. People know when somebody's getting punked out of something. You know. But like I said, since that's not in the conversation about consent, since it's just a yes or no thing, people bypass that. Whether they know they're doing the wrong thing or not, that's not for me to say. But it is wrong. And that's what I want to talk about today. So, I didn't want this to be a 15, 20-minute video. I just wanted to talk about how consent is more than verbal, right? And maybe I'll make a longer video on it in the future. But I really did this on the fly. So start thinking about that and start talking about that stuff when you talk about consent. It's more than words. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. I'll see y'all later.